top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with the few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. The Drive-In Theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Good evening, everybody. It is 8 o'clock. It is Monday night. It is January 29th, and you are tuned in to the Drive-In Speaker Box podcast. I'm your host, Bo, the Boom Operator.
I'm the Grip.
And for the next hour, we're going to be talking to you about movie stuff. It's what we do. It's January, though, so what the hell is even going on? I cannot believe that this month is almost over. It seems like it has barely begun. I don't know where the time went. Velvet Santa on Twitch asked if this is the 100th episode, or did you mean 1000th? Because we're quickly approaching our 1000th episode, and I don't think this is it. But it's not even our 1000th episode. Like, that's already passed. This is like the 1000th one that I know that I've recorded. So, you know, that'll be in the next couple of weeks. I don't know if we're not gonna like wear party hats or something. But that's. Yeah, it's been a lot of episodes. So yeah, thanks for joining us. Yeah, man, what's going on?
Oh, nothing. Just thinking about that. It'd be cool if we had like CGI Kiss in the background doing "Shout It Out Loud" and we come in for the 1000th episode. That'd be a very cool thing to do. Yeah. Not a lot, man. You know, just actually got to watch a movie. There was actually something in the theaters to watch this past week. That's new. Yeah. That hasn't happened in a couple of weeks, right? I watched Fighter.
I knew you were gonna watch Fighter. There was a whole bunch of Telugu movies in the theaters this weekend.
This one's a Hindi one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, Hrithik Roshan and Deepika Padukone, and
so I guess we're going to be talking about that later in the show. Yeah, we'll be talking about. I
want it was in the top 10 domestic movies, my guy.
Because there was not many movies.
Yeah, but it was.
Godzilla -1 Color is actually playing here.
Yeah, we have it in the U.S. and we have it here locally for us. I said something about it in our Discord, I think.
It passed the 100 million milestone here, which it's good for that film. That's pretty big.
I did see that old director, writer, special effects man that made the movie on his own, basically, said that he doesn't really care to do a sequel for it because everyone's like, sequel, and he's like,
nah, man,
dude, I made like one of the best Godzilla movies there's ever been, bro.
Stop while you're
I'm
ahead.
Good. Also, something cool is Toho has released like a Godzilla -1 black and white figure.
Oh,
it looks really cool.
That is
cool.
It
looks really cool.
Speaking of other things hitting the $100 million mark, The Beekeeper somehow passed $100 million and is becoming, 2024's like one of the first hits of the year.
It came out at the right time with nothing else going on to
and following a
pull
format
attention away from it.
Clearly already works.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, talking about action movies. Did you see that there's a Bob Odenkirk short film that's being released this week?
You know I love Bob Odenkirk.
Oh, yeah. It's called Wish Me Luck. It comes out on the 31st. That's Wednesday.
Just after when Amazon Prime will start showing ads to everybody.
Well, this is on Collider.
Oh, okay. So,
and
it's today's the day. Today's the last day.
Oh, I got to up my Amazon cost.
Mm-hmm. Today's the last day of the ad-free. I think at midnight tonight.
Bummer.
Vince on Twitch says, did you hear that Bob Odenkirk is making a Nobody 2?
I hadn't seen that. Maybe I was just distracted by the news about the Wish Me Luck movie, and it's a very short film written by him. It's 8 minutes long, so it's not like a
perfect runtime.
Perfect runtime. But it's behind the scenes him training for Nobody. So it's basically like a DVD featurette kind of a thing, but it's done by him and exploring him learning to do stunts. And I think that'll be kind of cool to see someone who's like a comedic actor, like a comedy and sometimes drama actor, learning to be a stuntman for a very John Wick-esque
He's getting kind of old
type
too,
movie.
though, which
Well,
is-
he is an old dude, yeah. Yeah, so, Better Call Saul is in there flipping stuntmen over and, like, shooting people in the face and stuff like that. So that actually sounds super interesting. Dude, and talking about people being shot in the face, Knives Out 3 is happening, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, it's they've finished kind of writing it.
Okay.
Or old dude, what's the director guy? The guy that Ryan Johnson. He's finished writing the script, and they
Glass
announced
Onion
it.
was pretty good.
Well,
but it
Netflix
wasn't-
had already signed a contract.
Yeah.
They got to make a movie regardless. Glass Onion was fun.
Yeah, it was.
It's
fun.
fun.
It's
The first
fun.
movie's fun.
It's fun.
The first movie's more fun because you have like Jamie Lee Curtis just being a piece of crap.
Yeah, the
And,
first one I like. Anybody that watches the show or listens to the show on a podcast, wherever it is you download podcasts, knows that we like a good whodunit. Like they're fun. They're just bubblegum. There's just the flavor might run out pretty fast, but the initial chew is always a good time. But Glass Onion, I don't know what it was about it that by the end I wasn't as satisfied as I was with the first one.
Yeah, it was that just everyone on that island was stuck up their own butt.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone in the first movie was like a butthole, and that was more fun. Like seeing them be buttholes to each other rather than stuck up their own butts, maybe. Lots of just Ryan Johnson butt stuff. But anyhow, it's supposed to start filming end of this year, and Daniel Craig will come back as his gay Southern foghorn leghorn mystery solving machine. I'm okay with that. I liked Knives Out and Glass Onion, both okay. Neither one of them are like as amazing as everyone made Knives Out original to sound like, but they are fun. And that's all I really want out of that kind of thing.
Let's see. Other news. Did you see this? I mean, not that I want to talk about superheroes because I don't. But apparently this week they were interviewing James Gunn about the new Superman Legacy, reboot, and they do not plan on doing any sort of origin story.
That's good.
Yeah.
He'll kind of start in, even though he's a younger Superman, they're going to have it start up. I did see that James Gunn has been pretty active on Threads, and he answered some questions posed to him, which is, will Batman be in Superman Legacy? And he said, Batman will not be in Superman Legacy. And they asked him why. And he said, because he's not in the script. And that was the whole answer. So there's plenty of superheroes. I think Metamorpho is supposed to be in there, right? It's been a while since I cared or was excited about.
Since that ever excited me.
Yeah, Metamorpho on screen would be sick. I like Metamorpho. Metamorpho, Plastic Man, something about shape-changing heroes,
We're never
maybe.
get a good Plastic Man.
No, but isn't Red Tornado going to be in it or something too?
I think I saw Red Tornado, which would be weird because
Put the Metal Men in there while you're at it. If Metamorpho and Red Tornado are going to be there, put the Metal Men in there. I used to really like reading the Metal Men comics. But also, someone asked James Gunn on Threads another Batman question, which is Batman 2, the Batman, the Pattinson, the Robert Pattinson movie, if that is still in the works or if it's been canceled. And he said it has not been canceled.
Well, of course, because
So-
it made money. So yeah.
And it is going to be a NetherRealms or Other Worlds movie or whatever DC calls their stuff anymore. So that's good to hear because that one was pretty good.
It wasn't bad.
Till
I enjoyed it.
the last 10 or 20 minutes
Oh,
of
like
it.
how long and sludgy
Well,
just
just that
people were.
The Riddler was like a Reddit dude. Which, thinking about
It was like all these MGTOW dudes like getting summoned by the Riddler to be like, oh, I hate women and also everyone else, so I'm just going to shoot guns at people because I'm lonely.
Yeah, which thinking about it, Dumb Money is on Netflix now. So if you didn't watch it in the theater, you can watch it on Netflix. And it's the same dude getting Reddit
Paul
followers.
Dano.
Yeah, it's just Paul Dano on Reddit.
He plays a good Reddit guy.
Yeah, apparently he's the go-to Redditor because there's 2 movies where he's just a Reddit guy doing a call to arms. So
Shout outs to VHS Mikey on YouTube, man. Howdy guys, Speakerbox fam. Another movie the trailer came out this week that it feels like they've made 1,000 of these movies, but there's another Despicable Me, like a Despicable Me 4 trailer that dropped, and I'm like, how is it only 4? But then I forgot that Minions also has like 100 movies.
yeah, and I think Gru, like Rise of Gru, is like its own thing.
But Despicable Me 4 is a thing and has a Gru Jr., has a baby son, which I guess calls to question that Gru had sex with a person. So
Cloning. He could just be a
I guess
genius
that's
clone
true.
thing.
He could be a clone.
Who knows?
Never thought about that.
Going back real quick, Vince asked if he should watch Glass Onion because he hasn't seen it yet. Is it worth watching? Yeah, it's worth
fun.
watching. It's there.
It's a whodunit. It's a fun whodunit.
It is fun. There's a couple of cool cameos or whatever in there. I like it a lot. It's worth watching. What were we just talking about? Despicable Me.
Yeah, we just covered that one.
There's a new Lego movie that's been announced. Speaking of movies that...
I mean, is it just Lego?
How
or
is there
it
so
Lego
many of them?
Batman or Lego Spider-Man or Lego
It's
character people?
Lego biopic about Pharrell Williams.
Are you fucking serious right now?
I'm serious. That's a real thing.
What?
They're doing a Lego biopic about Pharrell Williams.
I mean, I can't say I'm not mad about it. I think it's okay. I mean, that just sounds so stupid enough that I'm gonna buy it.
They're just like, well, who can we do music about or whatever? I think they just want to have more singing.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Mark Landry on YouTube just hit the panic button in the room that we haven't talked about. There was a poster that came out. There was a small trailer that came out of the remake of a American bar classic, Roadhouse, with Jake Gyllenhaal taking over the role of Patrick Swayze.
No, there was rumblings that he's supposed to be a son.
So it's not like it's a continuation in the
might
Roadhouse
be.
world?
Yeah, because his name is something Dalton, but he's not the same Dalton.
So I guess we're to believe that after Patrick Swayze ripped that dude's larynx out on the shores of Lake Minnetonka or whatever, that he went back to that bar and just like pool tabled the hell out of that chick, or up in his like barn, they just rolled in the hay and made Jake Gyllenhaal.
Absolutely, yeah, I guess so. What if that was the last words that dude? He's like, I used to bang dudes like you in prison or whatever, and he's just beating him up, and he goes, you must purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka, and then he rips his throat out and dumps him in the water. He goes, that's not Lake Minnetonka. That would have been sick.
Mark says, pain don't hurt, but these remakes do.
Have you seen the trailer? Did you watch it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of Conor McGregor in it.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of thick McGregor.
Well, that's what worries me about this movie is it could be good. I'm not really opposed to a thematically similar movie of Roadhouse, because Roadhouse, like, while it's great and anybody that's ever worked in the bar business, it's a great movie to watch. It is getting a little dated. Like some of those things. No, I meant like modern bar business. Like you can't just have a fucking mega brawl in the middle of the, whatever.
Apparently can in the Keys, bro.
Apparently you can, but it still holds up. But I think that there are modern things in modern bars that are things that never happened then that could be kind of fun to explore. You could run like a cocaine trafficking operation could be happening out in your bar, and you got to go fight them or whatever. I mean, it could happen. It could be a thing. But if they keep trying to pander to the Conor McGregor fans of the world, like that is the lowest common denominator. Like shop at the Buckle, put bejazzles on your butt, but then call other people gay. Like you can't, like that demographic of people is a walking oxymoron, and pandering to them only makes the world a worse place. I don't want that movie to be that.
I have really mixed feelings about the trailer because it's like, it's going to be an action movie, and it looks kind of cool, but it also looks dumb as hell.
Yes.
And it's a Prime movie now, right? It's like it's straight to streaming.
It's not going to the theaters.
Yeah.
And Velvet Santa, the bad guys troll the bar with touch tunes. I'm that bad guy.
Dude, okay. Are we the bad guys now?
Yeah, we are the bad guys now. I have literally made a bartender unplug the touch tunes. Like,
I like to check and see what's playing on the jukebox at one of our local bars. before I go in there, and then I put wrestling entrance music on to make an entrance into said bar.
Everybody keeps asking me why. They're like, you should get a Touch Tunes for Pinpoint. I would faster put a bullet in my glabella than I would put a Touch Tunes in my bar, because no, thank you, sir.
You have the power to skip the songs as the...
That's all I would do. The 90,000th person that put on the Who's Pinball Wizard, I would go into the crowd and I would strangle them to death and watch the life flow from their eyes into my palm, and with a smirking grin, I would say, never again.
Maybe
and I
you
would
can
put
make
them down.
deaf, dumb, and blind, like in the song.
No.
Like, have fun playing pinball now.
In hell.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Vince on Twitch asks, what is Touch Tunes? Touch Tunes is a system of jukebox. It's a modern jukebox. It's a digital jukebox. It sits on a wall. You go up, you can use it on your phone, and you buy credits, and you basically can request songs and play songs and skip songs, and it's
one of the things about it, though, is that since it is app based and internet, you can play songs anywhere that has Touch Tunes turned on anytime you want to. And there are people that do troll bars by playing, like, it's not unusual or Rick Astley or whatever.
And a lot of bars have wised up and say, oh, only these genres, only these songs, and they'll ban certain songs or remove certain songs.
Yeah, Cotton Eye Joe.
But yeah, as Trucker Lena says, the music at Pinpoint is already flawless, so please do not. So thank you. I work very hard on vibe creation at my bar. I will never get a Touch Tunes ever, ever, ever. But anyway, Roadhouse, that's a thing.
That is a thing. And you know what? Talking music, though, real quick, is that Wicked finished filming, because the musical movie is just so popular of a thing to do right now. Wicked officially finished its filming, and expect that sometime soon, either within the year or beginning of next, however long it takes for them to do post on that one. But I'm sure that'll end up doing pretty good. It's directed by John Chu, who's done such hits as Step Up 2, The Streets, G.I. Joe Retaliation, Now You See Me 2, which is probably the biggest one out of those. But he's no stranger to music, because he did In the Heights, that made none of the dollars. So that's going to be one coming at you soon. Oh, and before we move too far away from the Lego and the DC stuff and all that, it's not really movie related, but there's a new trailer for the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game, and it has Will Arnett in the commercial. And
like physically? Like the person?
Like him on screen wearing like Deadshot looking armor or something, and he's like, yeah, let's go kill the Justice League and all that stuff. And that's funny, because Will Arnett is Lego Batman, and he's the voice of Slade in Teen Titans Go to the movies.
Everything.
Yeah, but he does two different DC characters already.
Like, he has such a unique and interesting, like, I've tried to have a Will Arnett impression, and it's hard. He's got such a throaty, deep baritone, but he's not a big guy, so it just is. It's a strange voice. But yeah, he's awesome. I like Will Arnett.
Yeah. Well, you know who is a big guy? John Cena.
John Cena is.
There's a new Netflix John Cena movie coming out, Ricky Stenicki. Have you seen the trailer for this?
I have not, but I hate the name already.
It has what's his name? Zac Efron and a couple other guys in it.
Is it like mega jacked Zac Efron? Now that he's okay.
It's like right now HGH Zac Efron. Yeah. And him and some friends have created a fake friend that they use as an excuse to get out of, things that their families and wives want them to do. But they get caught up in it, and they have to hire someone to be Ricky Stenicki, and it's John Cena, who's like this Atlantic City stage actor dude or something. It looks dumb as hell. It could probably be a lot of fun. It looks like it might be a lot of fun.
What it must be like to be rich and famous and to have a dumbass idea and be like, you want to do this? And they go, Okay, this sounds fun and stupid. Like Adam Sandler and all his homies. Like, how much fun must it be to just be those people and have fun and make these movies that they want to make? I mean, it just seems like it would just be hilarious and fun. Like, I don't want to watch some of these movies, like Ricky, Stenicki, Paticki, whatever, but making them must be an absolute hoot.
Dude, you know what else would be? Velvet Santa said Wicket, a musical Ewoks movie. That would be fun. Each up, yub, nub.
That's just the Star Wars holiday special.
Yeah. And Vince said that Will Arnett's podcast sold to XM for $100 million. Good job,
dang.
Will Arnett, man. You know what else? Before we're too far away from comic books as well, exciting comic book news for people like us and people that don't really care to watch the Marvel and DC stuff. Rogue Trooper.
I don't know what this is.
2000 AD.
Oh.
Yeah, 2000 AD comic. It just finished filming as well.
Really?
So there's going to be a Rogue Trooper movie. It's directed by the guy that did Warcraft.
Oh, which I did not hate that movie.
Yeah, no, you didn't. Yeah, Duncan Jones. He also did Moon.
I liked Moon.
Yeah. So they just finished filming Rogue Trooper.
So he's like a purple
So
machine gun guy?
Yeah, he's like a clone dude, right? Like they're like these clone army guys. But the cool thing is, whenever they all have like these chips in them or whatever, right? And when one of them dies, they can take on the chips and put them in like their weapon and stuff. So in the picture, if you're seeing it right here, his helmet has that little tab on the front.
Yeah, right.
It has like the number 1, and then the gun has like a number 2, stuff like that. So there's other troopers that are able to talk to him, and they like take in, because then they can implant them in another body, but they stay alive through.
That's kind of like Altered Carbon. They had the things in the back of their heads. Those
Well,
chips.
this has been around for forever.
Right. I'm sure maybe that's where Altered Carbon got the idea.
And the movie has people like Jermaine Clement,
Oh, hey.
Sean Bean,
Oh, hey.
Matt Berry,
Oh, hey.
and then
Is this a straight up super comedy?
well, it's like British, so they're like
Okay.
getting like British dudes. I really hope that Jermaine and Matt Berry do some of the voices
Oh my God.
of like his weapons and helmet and stuff like that. That would be fantastic. The Rogue Trooper video game, by the way, is really badass. It was like a 360 game or something like that, but you can play it on current gen consoles. It's a lot of fun. And the guy playing Rogue Trooper is Anduin something Bernold. I don't know. I don't know him. He hasn't really been in a lot of things that anyone would know. He was in Dunkirk.
He's an up and comer.
Nah, he's like almost 40, and he's been doing movies.
You can be, so.
Yeah, you can. But he's been doing movies for like 30 of those years. But it's listed as being written by Jerry Finley Day and Dave Gibbons, who are the guys that wrote Rogue Trooper. That's exciting to have a movie, a 2000 AD movie done by the people that made the comic for 2000 AD.
Couldn't we not have done that for Judge Dredd, please?
Well, there's so many people involved in Judge Dredd, but
Yeah.
I like the Stallone Dredd, and I will die on that hill. And then also other cool things to see. Monkey Man. Did you see the trailer for this?
I didn't, but Dev Patel's cool.
Yeah, he co-wrote. He's directing. It's his directorial debut, and he's the star of it. Apparently, Jordan Peele was like, "I don't want this on Netflix," and he produced it to get it away from Netflix. But it's like this dude who's
It's like a
on
Fight
this-
Club, and he wears this monkey mask, right?
Yeah, it's like a John Wick nobody style looking movie where this dude kind of takes on this legend of this monkey to beat people up. It's all like a lot of Hanuman imagery.
Yeah.
And it's an Indian movie. It is an Indian movie. And it's funny that the U.S. is making Indian movies now. When I saw that trailer, especially because Hanuman is in theaters right now. About a superhero version of Hanuman. But it's like super gruesome, violent looking. It looks like a lot of fun. I want to see it. It could be cool.
I mean, I'll watch it. I like Dev Patel, man. He's a good dude.
Yeah. And then what else? There's a couple other trailers. Calamity Jane trailer.
Okay.
It has Emily Bett Rickards and Stephen Amell from Arrow, both in that. Stephen Amell is playing Wild Bill Hickok, which is really weird. He looks super weird. That one's going to be like a straight-to-streaming type thing. It did say it'll get a theatrical release, but probably only a couple. And then Sleeping Dogs with Russell Crowe,
Oh yeah.
where it's like
I saw that one too.
a detective that doesn't have his memory.
Did you watch the last Airbender Netflix trailer?
No, I never got into
Oh, that's right.
Avatar.
You're wrong. So the live action show starts February 22nd on Netflix, so right around the corner, 1 month away. Pretty cool stuff there. I'm looking forward to it. I like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Blah blah blah. You're probably wondering though. You're probably wondering why we haven't addressed the elephant in the room that is the Oscars, because fuck the Oscars. You're probably sitting there listening to this podcast. You're probably going, why haven't they talked about the Oscar nominations and the Oscar snubs and the...
Oh, gosh. I've done everything I can to avoid having to hear about Barbie snubs. Which, the one thing I will say is that Whoopi Goldberg went into the news and was talking... and she's like, not everyone likes everything. Just because you liked Barbie doesn't mean that the people voting on it or the Academy was like, yeah, let's give more awards to it.
That's not how awards work. And if you've listened to our show, you'll understand why we hate awards and how did you not? If you'd listened to us, you would have seen this coming. Like, not everybody can win a fucking participation trophy, especially when the Academy's already broken and predictable. Like, who cares? You know, if we'd stop caring about these goddamn awards, then it wouldn't make such a big deal when people get nominated. But we just want the recognition. From who? From an Academy that you already hate? Who cares? Like, fucking drop it. Like, it doesn't matter. Oscars are stupid. Golden Globes are stupid. It is a way for other people to validate something that you won't take a chance on. And it will, for people to go, oh, well, I'll only watch it because it made an Oscar, or to validate your taste in whatever. Just fucking like what you like. Don't these stupid freaking awards, man.
Yeah. Going back in comments real quick too. Vince asked if I've watched Iron Claw yet. I still haven't. I haven't. I think we touched on it last week. I've not been in the mood to be bummed out. As a wrestling fan, I know the real life story. In fact, I watched Royal Rumble Saturday. I went to a live local wrestling event yesterday. I've been going to a bunch of wrestling again here lately, getting back into it, and watching the Von Erich story on screen is just not something I've felt like doing.
It's a bummer
yet. And then someone else said something. Velvet Santa asked us. There was a question in there. I totally lost.
Oh, the Ghostbusters trailer.
Yeah, the Ghostbusters trailer. I haven't watched the new international one, but I did see that there's a new international Ghostbusters trailer released. I did not watch the last two Ghostbusters movies. I don't really.
The last one was.
Yeah.
It had some warm fuzzies, but it was predictable and formulaic.
Yeah, I don't have the interest in watching a reboot. Cool.
Now, one before that was just so bad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Full reboot. No interest whatsoever in a reboot. Cool. If it's on TV sometime, I might watch parts of it. I have no desire to sit down and watch that. I grew up absolutely in love with Ghostbusters and everything that it was. And it was, if you see the toys that I've wasted dollars on in the background here, Ghostbusters was something that, oh, look at this. I got my Slimer pin right here.
And there's Slimer right there.
Yeah. So I just going and watching something where they're like, now there's kids and it's in a farm town and it's extra wacky and goofy. Something. And we got the Echo One right in front of us where you guys can't see it. We love Ghostbusters. And so watching the last two has just been not.
Yeah. As Jay-Way says on YouTube, he says the new Ghostbusters looks more like an action than a comedy. Well, and that's how most of it's going. Like, if you go back and you watch the original Ghostbusters movie, it is a subtle comedy, and it's an adult subtle comedy. And
okay, who brought their dog?
Yeah, I mean, it was a comedy for adults, and then it just somehow managed to capture the hearts of everyone, right? But then when toy manufacturers and producers start coming in and you go, oh, well, the kids like it too, and they're the ones that are going to buy the proton packs, and you're like, well, just wait. When adults will buy this shit too eventually when they get lonely and wealthy enough. And then it became a kids movie all of a sudden, and now they think that they have to make it a kids movie when you don't. But now, like, everything's an action movie, and it's just the way that things are, and I think it's
I feel like we have more horror comedy than anything else going on
Because that's what they make toys of.
we got Slimer and Elvira. We got Tales from the Crypt.
We got 2 Crypt Keepers. You know.
We got Gremlins all over the place. I think horror comedy is
Creepshow
like
right there.
yeah. There's no comedy in Creepshow though, right?
Creepshow's hilarious, man.
On purpose?
Yeah, there's some really good ones. And the thanks for the ride lady bit, I think that's one of the best ones. And the one where Stephen King like gets covered in the moss, and yeah, Creepshow's great. Like
another
even the
Slimer
new
in the
Creepshow.
background?
I wish that they would make more episodes of the newer Creepshow that they did.
Little Slimer right there.
Yeah,
too.
we got a lot of dumb. It's just it's easy to sell merch like that. But yeah, Velvet Santa says the Rambo toys were a little surreal. I remember those at like KB Toys when I worked in the mall. KB Toys, they were like always in the discount bin, and but yeah, I mean it's fun. The fact that RoboCop had toys.
I had those. Yeah.
You know, if you think about RoboCop is not a kid's movie. That dude's pecker gets shot off. People's faces get blown off. There's the toxic
gets
acid
melted.
dude gets melted. You know, you're like, goodbye, Boddicker. You know, and like all this shit. Like he gets blasted into the like being goop. Like in the first where they just shotgun his body into goop. And that's like, that's not a freaking kid's movie. But
Stabs people with a data spike.
You know, but
Yeah,
then they
but
made
kids.
toys. Yeah.
Loved
Let's make
it.
toys.
Yeah.
But that was the thing. Is kids back then were exposed to that shit, and we all grew up to be us. And we love it. And like we should do more shit like that. Like kids are gonna go on the internet and find this shit anyway, so we might as well make good versions of it for them to consume. Jurassic, as Jay Way says, Jurassic Park. That dude got bit off right off the toilet.
I had every Jurassic Park toy.
There was arms flying everywhere. We were holding onto our butts. It was scary. You know, like where did we just go so far off censoring everything?
Jurassic Park is absolutely terrifying. It's just so
Fun.
horrific and terrifying, and kids are like, dinosaurs, yeah.
I know.
And so I had the toys where the T-Rex could come and bite the chunk out of the Triceratops, and it was all fleshy and squishy and all that stuff.
Velvet Santa says Saltburn Easy Bake Oven. The kids love Saltburn right now because it's so shock and awe. Like, you know, that's the thing. Just make good movies. Excuse me. Make good movies. Don't figure out how you got to cater to them. But anyway, speaking of movies, we need to talk about what's coming out in theaters this week. Sorry, I'm getting like the hiccups all of a sudden. Oh man. And we don't edit the show either. This is just stream of consciousness, so I apologize for the hiccups. A couple of movies. Speaking of the kids, there's one coming out this weekend called How to Have Sex. And it is about 3 British teenage girls going on a rite of passage, holiday drinking, clubbing, hooking up in a magical summer. Should be the best summer of their lives, but probably as most like riding something that's too high fizzles and goes wrong too quickly. So always be careful. It has been nominated for 3 BAFTAs.
But does it teach you? Do I need to take a notepad?
I don't know. There's still some pointers that might be in there. Let's see. But that's coming out this week. Also, probably the one that's going to be in theaters everywhere is from director Matthew Vaughn. If you don't know Matthew Vaughn, you know Matthew Vaughn. You just don't know his name. He of all the people that call other directors like visionary directors, Matthew Vaughn actually is one of these people. If you've ever watched a Matthew Vaughn movie, I remember when I first saw Stardust, and I really liked it because it's a Neil Gaiman adaptation of one of his stories, and it was very fun. And then I went back and I watched Layer Cake, which was pretty good. Kick-Ass was a lot of fun. X-Men First Class was that was a movie you could see. And then he did the Kingsman's movies, and they have this very and he was a producer on the Tetris movie, which has a very Matthew Vaughn pacing and visual style, as well as Rocket Man, which if you've ever seen that, you can feel his input on that movie.
Oh, I was thinking the Hal. Oh crap, what's his name? I was thinking the comedy from the 90s or whatever.
Rocket Man?
Yeah, where he goes to Mars and has like the spacesuit full of fart.
But Matthew Vaughn's newest movie is Argylle. And Argylle, it's about a spy novelist getting drawn into this actual, underground syndicate, and they're like, who is Argyle? That's the trailer, but it has a huge ensemble cast. It's got Dua Lipa's in it, Bryce Dallas Howard, Henry Cavill, Sam Rockwell, John Cena, Samuel L. Jackson, Bryan Cranston. The list goes on and on. Rob Delaney's in it, Sophia Boutella's in it. Like, it's a bunch of people in this freaking movie. Because Matthew Vaughn is good at that. I'm mainly excited because Sam Rockwell and Henry Cavill are just awesome to watch. Like, I love how
Harlan Williams. Thanks for saying that.
And I also like Bryce Dallas Howard a lot. She's really great on screen in almost every role that she takes on. She's, those three actors have a lot of range and a lot of depth. Samuel Jackson's always Samuel Jackson, and that in itself is fun. But
they got Nick Fury and Superman in the same movie, along with Gwen Stacy, and there was another Marvel person in there.
It's good. And as Velvet Santa just pointed out on Twitch, he said Sam Rockwell was in the first Turtles movie, Regular or Menthol.
Oh, yeah. Sam Rockwell was one of the Foot Clan boys.
He was just like, you get anything you want here at the Foot Clan house, which was, and they were playing that song. It was, whatever. There's a very memorable scene for me. And that those two kids were playing that Narc video game. I was like, oh, man, look at that. It seems like
the Foot Clan hideout was dope. Did we both say that?
Yeah, because it was.
Because it had skateboards and video games.
Chain link fence inside.
Yeah, you could get beat up by like a Japanese dude.
Yeah. So anyway, that's coming out this weekend. That's probably going to be the one that hits theaters nationwide. Also, I don't know if this is going to get a U.S. release or if it's going to go a streaming treatment, but I am mentioning it because it has Mads Mikkelsen, and anything that he's in is probably going to be pretty good, and it's called The Promised Land. It's actually not in English, so heads up to that. But watch it in its original language. Put on the freaking subtitles. Don't be afraid of reading. It's the story of Ludwig Collin, who was trying to pursue his lifelong dream of building this community, right? And it takes place a long time ago in the Renaissance-y looking Europe, and I don't know the story of Ludwig Collin because I'm not from that part of the world, but the trailer looks good. And it's Mads Mikkelsen, man. I don't know why I have to watch everything that this dude makes, but he is so freaking cool, man.
Mikkelsen.
Mikkelsen. When I say Mikkelsen, Mikkelsen. M-I-K-K-E-L-S-E-N. Mikkelsen. Mads. It's Mads. I get hype about him.
Oh, ball whacker.
He's so cool. Just, my God. I want to grow up to be as, cool as Mads. I'm not nearly as mysterious or stoic, but I'm working on it. I want to be Mads. I can't do it, but he's so freaking cool.
Start listening to a lot of black metal.
Hell yeah.
And being cold all the time.
I'll try.
Get that whole Nordic
I don't have my eyes. I have friendly eyes, which suck. I want dark, mysterious, no bullshit eyes. And I have the kind of eyes that no matter what store I go to, people come up and ask me questions or ask me for help. Even when I look like or feel like I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, dude, I probably look like I'm just don't fucking talk to me. And some lady goes, oh, hey, can you show me where the sweetened condensed milk is? And I'm like, yeah, it's aisle 7. And, it's like, God damn it. How do you not know where the sweetened condensed milk is, bitch? And, they're like, have a good one. But
your Velvet Santa's reason to fly.
Great. That's how friendly my eyes are. Anyway, also, Velvet Santa says people thought I worked at Office Depot back in the day. People think I work everywhere I go. And they're just like, hey, I got a question for you. Anyway.
Dude, I wear tattered Harley Davidson hoodies. And I'm clearly not someone that wants to talk to anybody. And people go, do you work here? And I'm like, dog. What part of me?
Yeah. But also coming out, probably not in wide release, but maybe getting the streaming treatment. Jungle Bunch, Operation Meltdown. It says it's in theaters, only in theaters February 2nd. So I think it's just one of those weird cash grab, here we have an animated movie in a time where we don't have a lot of options for kids. Those tend to come out every now and again, especially around January, February, because they're like, oh, fuck it. Kids will watch anything that's animated, and throw it out, make some money.
What country made that movie?
I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. There's a movie, like a zombie movie coming out called The Epidemic. It has Eric Roberts in it, and Chris Owen, Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle?
Yeah, he has Kurt Angle in it. But that's probably just going to hit streaming as well. So
That's cool. Dude,
yeah.
Kurt Angle rules.
He's a wrestler.
He is. He's a gold medal winning wrestler.
He was.
He won that medal with a broken freaking neck.
Well, okay. Well, that's what's coming out this weekend. So there is a movie that's in theaters, at least locally, that Jake saw that he's going to catch you up on. I believe it was Fighter.
Yeah, I watched Fighter. Man, it's everywhere.
So-
I'm sure. It was in the top 10?
The Hindi Top Gun, right?
Yeah, basically. It's getting a lot of comparisons to Top Gun. I did see an article or two where the director was having to defend that it's not just a Top Gun movie.
So
right.
this it is in 662 theaters in the U.S.
Oh,
and
it's listed at 16.
It's number 16. It did make $1 million, so not bad.
I got to go back to that article I read because it said that it was in the top 10 domestic, but that might have been before all the numbers came in. Doesn't matter. Yeah, Fighter. It's a movie that's been delayed for several years because of COVID, but now it's out. It's out there. It's Hrithik Roshan being an action star, being badass. It's about a squadron of fighter pilots and helicopter crews that are brought together for special missions to safeguard and patrol the area between Pakistan and India at Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, right? And it's just the most patriotic movie you've ever seen in your life, dude. There's Indian flags everywhere. They're reciting poetry about how, like, India's, like, the titties and like, no matter how good your coffin is.
Poem about India being
yeah,
the
like
titties.
no coffin looks as good as one that's dressed in the Indian flag and all this. It's like, fight for your country, you know, be a real Hindustani, you know. It's like, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, be true to yourself, be true to your country, be a real Hindustani.
I am a real Hindustani.
Yeah. It's super badass, man. It is a lot of fun. It definitely has Top Gun vibes. You know, Hrithik Roshan's character is clearly the maverick of the group, but instead of it being like a flight school type thing, it is a lot like Top Gun Maverick, where they have the best of the best already. The people that have proved themselves join this team, and they train for these missions, these protecting missions to be able to rescue people with the helicopter crews and their air support with the fighters. You know, and he's the rogue. You know, he's like, I'm gonna take out this bad guy. And of course, there is like a Red Baron type character. Mm-hmm. He's called the Red Nose because he's a Pakistan guy, and the nose on his plane is painted red. And all of this is to stop these terrorists who are attacking Indian civilians and bombing their military convoys and stuff like this. And it is a lot of action rolled into one movie. Big storytelling, lots of jets, rescue missions, shootouts, jet fights, ambushes, rescuing POWs. It's like Rambo and Top Gun and all this like rolled into one movie. Of course, you have your music numbers and a little bit of a love story in there at the same time. Lots of comedy in there. It has everything. I had a blast. I really liked it. It is a good time. If you like Top Gun, it's like Top Gun but more interesting. It's like easier to pay attention to, easier to jive with the characters. Top Gun.
Cool.
And, yeah. And
were there any
kind of
volleyball scenes?
A little
or
bit.
High fives.
Part of it was that, you know, the commander was like, you guys have got to bond, because what really is going to make this team the best team on the planet is like, y'all are going to be homies, you know. So there's a lot of cutting up and goofing around and bonding and having a great time. And of course there's like planes going side by side and like looking at each other through the glass. Like you get all like the cool Top Gun stuff, but in like a even more action packed movie. It's fantastic, man. I don't know how to explain it
Other than it's just being, it's cool.
It's just a classic action movie. and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, 10/10 recommend. It's a good time if you need your action fix, or if you have learned that you do like Bollywood films, things like that. This is a good one to go watch.
Well, hell yeah. It's in 660-something theaters nationwide. You can maybe check it out in a theater near you. And speaking of those, it's called Fighter, for those of you in the comments who are asking again. For those of you curious about the box office, since we were just talking about it, it's about that time where we're going to give you the box office roundup for the past weekend, which was January 26th through 28th, 2024. The way this works is Jake's going to give you the top 10 movies in the U.S. These are domestic numbers. The reason we talk about domestic numbers is because we know that that's what the studios follow. They only want to know domestic numbers because that's where the money stays. So the worldwide stuff is kind of gravy. But if it does, like World of Warcraft is one of the best examples that, we just mentioned that movie. It made no money here in the States, made tons and tons and tons of money overseas, but we never got a sequel because it's about domestic numbers. So Velvet Santa asks Twitch, I think there's like 2 more things in the goodie box. This is the final 2.
He also says Indy has cool motorcycles like the Royal Enfields. Well, you know how in Top Gun, Tom Cruise popularized the Ninja, and that's really what got Ninjas and Ray-Bans and all that sold. They ride plenty of Royal Enfields in this movie with Harley Davidson sound effects.
Nice.
Yeah. So you're like, whoa, that Royal Enfield sounds cool. It's like a little turd bike, like 50cc, and they're like big hogs. But it's a movie and it's a lot of fun.
Well, all right. Well, number 10. Take it away, Jake.
Yeah. Coming in at number 10, Night Swim brought in $2 million. Its 4th week out. Brought in $26.75 million for that one. At number 9, American Fiction, having climbed up from the number 12 spot. It did. It gained theaters. I was about to say it brought in $2.6 million, which is a 50% bump for them, gaining 852 theaters to be in 1,700 total. 11.5 for that one, and it's 7 weeks out there. But it's clearly been in a very limited release there. And I think as we are approaching
Oscar season,
Black History Month,
and that too,
that one might kind of take off. And then at number 8, climbing back up from the number 18 spot, coming back in the top 10 real hard, Godzilla Minus One
came back in 1,500 more theaters.
Got itself another $2.7 million, which is a nearly 300% increase. 9 weeks out, $55 million in the U.S. Now I wonder if that's just Godzilla Minus One or if that's minus color along with it.
I think that's along with it. Yeah.
Okay. And then number 7, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, $2.7 million brought in by that one. In the U.S., it's made just under 120 across the globe, about 412.
Crossed the 400 mark this week, so
yeah,
that
one's probably not great for that. But the DCEU is done, and now we're going on to James Gunn's whatever the hell is going to happen there.
We'll see.
Another one that climbed in the top 10.
Oh, from
the number 10 spot. What you talked about last week.
Last week, I reviewed it last week.
Yeah, Poor Things, $2.9 million for it.
And it grew.
Added 900 theaters.
And if you want to check out my full review, you can check it out last week. Steven on YouTube just popped in. He goes, "What's the show about?" It's about movies. We're talking about movies right now. We're going over the box office. Poor Things, not for everyone, but a good movie. And you can find the full review on last week's episode.
Just came into view what exactly this is about. We're talking about movies and what movies made money. Which coming in at Poor Things has brought in $24.5 million total, and it's 2 months out so far. And then coming in at the number 5 spot, holding on to the number 5, Top Gun alum, Anyone But You, $4.6 million.
Anyone but this movie.
$71 million brought in by it, and it's 6 weeks out. That movie
makes me sad.
Has somehow done it.
Thanks,
So,
TikTok.
Good for them. And then another one. All these have held their spots from number 5 up. That's incredible. Holding the number 4 spot, Migration. 4.9 million brought in by that one this past weekend, bringing its 6-week domestic total up to $101 million. So not bad for that one either, for one that had a slow start and everyone thought it was just going to kind of fall off. But it's migrated up to the top 10 and it's staying at number 4. And then holding the 3 spot, Wonka, still out there, and in 7 weeks, 5.6 million brought in by that
making
one.
it, man.
$195 million in the U.S. alone.
It's crushed it overseas, though.
Over $500 million total across the globe.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, it is dwarfed overseas what it has done here. I mean, it's crazy. So
I wonder how well it's doing in Belgium.
those chocolates. Oh,
Yeah, because that's where it takes place, right?
Yeah.
He's like some Belgian harbor.
they're all using chocolate as currency.
yeah,
and
that's what they're doing. They're
pay
like,
you in chocolate.
yeah, why don't we do that?
I don't know.
They're all just that fat kid from the original Wonka. And then
Augustus Gloop.
Yeah. Holding the number 2 spot, The Beekeeper, 6.67 brought in by it. In its 3 weeks out, has brought in $41.5 million.
41.
So.
And then again, like we said at the beginning of the show, like it's killing it overseas too. It did over 60 million overseas, so over 100.
And good news for you, because of the success of this movie, more Jason Statham and Sylvester Stallone projects
last job.
have been greenlit. So
Many more jobs.
Yeah.
I just want the Beekeeper to enter the John Wick-averse, so I don't need to see a shitty John Wick like movie or show or whatever the hell they're making right now.
well, you got Ballerina, and then you have The Continental, and there was some interviews with Ian McShane talking about the next adventure after The Continental for his character or whatever. So
Okay.
And then holding the top spot, Mean Girls. Hey, thanks, Merle. Mean Girls, the musical, 6.9 million brought in by that one, which is actually a 40% drop for it. $60.4 million brought in by it in its 3 weeks out.
It's making money too.
Beekeeper was right there with it. Actually, I saw articles saying that they wouldn't be shocked if Beekeeper took the top spot for the weekend, but I think when the final numbers came in, like it just edged out Beekeeper.
Damn. Musicals, man. And thanks for the sub, Merle, over on Twitch. For those of you that I don't know where you're watching the show from. It looks like we got Steven on YouTube asking us about Marvel. That he says, have they done too much? Yes, way oversaturated. Like Marvel, they're having to take a step back.
Yeah, one of the things
we talk about it a lot on the show.
Yeah, one of the things I didn't include in the news was all the stuff about Thunderbolts that's being talked about, because that movie is turning out to be a mess.
Yeah, well, Marvel's a mess right now.
Yeah.
But, no matter where you view us, if it's Facebook Live, if it's YouTube Live, if you're on Twitch with all of our Twitch friends, we like Twitch. It's a great platform. We actually do a pre-show. We start the show about 30 minutes early to just kind of get casual, talk to you guys from here in the studio. It's a lot of fun. So don't forget to like and subscribe wherever it is you like and subscribe. Or if you don't even want to mess with any of this stuff, you can just listen to it. You can download the audio version of this podcast. We just rip the audio right out of this thing and upload it to the internet. And you can just search for the Drive-In Speaker Box podcast. Tell your smart speaker to play the Drive-In Speaker Box tell it that and it won't work.
Yeah.
Tell your smart speaker to play the Drive-In Speaker Box podcast, and it'll do it for you. So, all right, guys. Well, that's our show. We'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. I'll probably go see Argyle. Really want to see this movie. Been looking forward to it. So expect a review for that next week. As Vince said, you can join us on Discord immediately after this show. You can jump in our Discord, and a lot of our community members are going to do a watch along, which if you were in the Twitch area, you could guess the movie that's for tonight's watch along. So you can come in and check that out and chit chat. And as Velvet Santa, he's like the last items of the goodie box that he sent us. And I did take a peek. They are 2 VHS cassette tapes. So I did get to see that they are 2 cassette tapes, but we're going to reveal them together. 1, 2, 3. What is that? Tailspin.
Young Indiana Jones.
3
Which
episodes.
number is this one?
I don't know. But
Chapter 18.
Did Anyone else like watch Tailspin as much as I did? I really, really liked Tailspin. It was a phenomenal show.
These were lasted as chapters 23 through 25 is the original indie trilogy. So this is 18, somewhere right in the middle of it.
Okay, 46 minutes of Tailspin, and you got what, 2 episodes of Young Indiana Jones?
I don't know.
But yeah,
It might just be one per VHS.
the last 2 goodies from the goodie box. Thank you, Velvet Santa, for hooking us up with so many fun things. We've had many weeks of exploring the goodie box, and Vince said the highlight for him was the RoboCop laser disc. Yeah, that was I still have it. It's right here. It was this one was pretty. Yep, there it is. Pretty badass. I'll have to get all this stuff situated here in the studio. And but anyway, we'll be back next week. Thanks you guys for tuning in. Like I said, do not forget to like and subscribe. And Jake, unless you have anything else,
That's all I got.
all right, we're out. We'll see you next time, guys.
See ya.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.